right, greetings, brothers and sisters. When I say you're ready to fight, you say damn right. You ready to fight? You ready to fight? You ready to fight? Now, the reason I started out with that chant, first of all, my name is Trent Willis. I'm the president of the International Longshore and Warehouse Union Local 10. And the reason I started out with that chant is because I know this is a happy moment for those who wanted the tyrant out of office. We in the ILWU wanted that tyrant out of office also. But we know that the fight is not over. We know that the fight is just beginning. The reason we know that the fight is just beginning is because we know our history. When Roosevelt was elected to office, way back in the day, black labor and the labor movement helped him get elected. A. Philip Randolph was a big part of that. And you know what Roosevelt told labor after he was elected when we went to collect on our debt? He said, make me do it. He told labor to make him do it. And labor is going to have to make Biden do it also. Now I know in the labor movement we have a lot of allegiances. We're allegiant to that. We're allegiant to this. But in the ILWU, our allegiance stands with the working class. We understand that there can be no identity politics in our house. We understand where identity politics belong, but identity politics belong in the outhouse, not in the in-house. Because in the in-house, we need to be completely united. We need to be completely united. Now I know that Trump might have not understood that Black Lives Matter before, but now he understands that black votes matter. Does he understand that now? I guarantee you he understands black votes matter. So we got to keep the identity politics out of the in-house and leave it where it belongs, in the outhouse. Because in the outhouse, that's where all the shit belongs. Okay? And for those who don't know what an outhouse is, an outhouse, way back in the day, was where the bathrooms were. Okay? The bathrooms were on the outside of the house. That's where you leave the identity politics. That's where you leave the racism. That's where you leave the discrimination. That's where you leave the oppression. And in the in-house, that's where we have unity and togetherness. When I say union, you say fight. Union. Union. When I say people, you say fight. People. People. When I say two, you say gather. Two. Power to the people, brothers and sisters.
But I also got a big plan, right? We got big plans. Not just in Oakland, but across the Bay. Across California, across this country, because what was on the ballot all over the country was decency, was justice, was racial harmony, was power. The movement for Black Lives, in terms of people actually seeing the terror that black people live under every day and wanting to do something different about it. Not equivocate, not there's good and bad on both sides, but actually wanting to see justice. It was about integrity. It was about environmental, the need for climate change. It was about all of these things, but I want you all to please, please do not stop organizing. We cannot, because the things that I just listed, economic justice, health care, women's rights, environmental justice, climate change, the need for justice for black bodies in this country, it does not go away because we got a fascist out of office. It does not end. It was an issue before Trump. It was an issue before Trump. I want y'all to hear me. It was an issue before Trump, during his administration, and it will be tomorrow. So that means that we cannot stop organizing. There are so many people that I know that went across the country to work in battleground states. So many folks. But in California, we are bleeding blue and hemorrhaging blue and turning red because we are not doing the work right here. A lot of us are, but this state is turning red. We cannot just assume that we are going to do what's right and be progressive. We can't. The propositions, how they turned out in the state of California, are an example that we got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of work to do. But it is union power. It is people power. It is the power of the working class that is saying enough is enough, that are standing up right now in this moment to change for our children, to change and make something new for tomorrow. We are investing today for a better tomorrow. We've got to stop this hemorrhaging that's happening right now. In Oakland, in Contra Costa, I got my folks out from Ace Contra Costa, San Francisco, the rents are still too damn high. And I personally am tired of fighting Democrats to get justice in our housing markets. I'm sick of it. So we cannot just say because you wear a badge and say I'm a progressive or I'm a Democrat that that's enough. Or I'm a black woman and that's enough. Or I'm a brown person and that's enough. Or I'm queer, so that's enough. No, you have to show and prove that you are actually standing in the gap for the people. That is what my candidacy was about. That is why I ran, because there are too many progressives in name only and Democrats in name only. We call them dinos and pinos, right? Too many of that. So we've spoken. I've talked too long. I got to get back over to Oakland because we're doing a congratulation party for my 700 plus volunteers who showed up and showed out in this election cycle. Worker power, people power. That's how we will change things.
My name is Anand Singh. I'm the president of Unite Here Local 2. Unite Here is the union of hotel, food service, restaurant, gaming workers all over this country. And from the start of this pandemic, we've really been hard hit. Our members are largely immigrants, people of color, disproportionately affected by COVID-19. Economically, our members have been hard hit. Our industry of tourism is down. It continues to be down for some time. We have been attacked for the last 4 years by a ruthless dictator in the White House. And yet, despite all those conditions, we mobilized in this election. Unite Here ran the largest canvassing operation in this country on behalf of Biden and Harris. Together with the rest of the labor movement and our allies in the community, we knocked on over 3 million doors in Arizona, Nevada, Pennsylvania, and Florida. And we did that despite the odds for one simple reason: because of our history, because of our experience. We know that when we fight, we win. When we fight. And so we made this contribution because this is all of our democracy. We know the odds against us. We know we need to fight because then we win. But folks, we are not done yet. We are not done yet. Let's be clear-eyed about what lies in front of us. Yes, not to diminish the significance of today and this moment, but let's be clear-eyed about what lays ahead. This fight is not over. Donald Trump went from being the most dangerous president in the history of our country to the most dangerous lame duck president in the history of this country. And the apparatus that put him into office, the moneyed interests that benefited from his presidency are still around. The fight is in front of us. Our members, Local 2 members, will lose their health insurance in the middle of a global pandemic on December 1st of this year. because their bosses, the hotel companies, haven't lifted a finger or paid one dime for their health care. Thousands of working families about to lose their health care on December 1st. This fight is in front of us. We have support from Supervisors Mandelman and Walton have introduced legislation that would extend health care coverage to workers at the airport, essential workers that aren't covered through health care and are working every day without health care. This in an industry that makes billions of dollars, the airline industry, and they're getting blowback, and we're being attacked, and those supervisors are standing strong with workers for health care. The fight is still in front of us. When we have a health care system that is broken, that is completely broken, an employer-based health care system, when we're in the middle of a global pandemic, workers don't have health care, normal, average Americans do not have health care, until we have single payer, until we have Medicare for all. The fight is in front of us. When you have tech companies spending hundreds of millions of dollars to delude voters in their state so they can continue to keep their own workers under their thumbs, prevent them from organizing basic essential rights that workers should have. When you have that kind of money buying an election and you have a governor that we all elected who chooses to stand on the sidelines and not with working people in that fight, the fight is in front of us. And so folks, we celebrate, yes, we recognize the significance and the importance of today, but let's be focused, let's be clear-eyed, let's keep on marching, and we got to keep in the fight, because what we know, what today proves is when we fight, when we fight, when we fight. Hey, San Francisco Bay Area, I need to make some noise because we waited too long for this. Can y'all make some noise? We've shown that when we fight, we win. We've shown that when we unite, we win. We've shown that when we come together and vote, and guess what? Our vote was vital. We voted out racism. We voted against misogyny. We voted against homophobia. And we voted for unity. We voted for Black Lives Matter. Can I hear you? The Black Lives Matter? But like other speakers have said, the fight is not over yet, and we have to make sure that we continue to fight this fight to see the society that we want to. And I am joined here today with my brothers and sisters and siblings from SEIU around the country in the state of California. We have SEIU USWW here. We have SEIU Local 87 here, Uncle Miranda, the president. And a big shout out to somebody who's played a role throughout the country, not just here in California, but in Philadelphia, Atlanta, Florida, Nevada, Arizona, our international president of SEIU, Mary Kay Henry. Can you make some noise? So the fight continues, folks. We won this round, but we have to continue to make sure that we show up, that we participate, and that working people have a voice. Every vote counts. Every vote counts. Every vote counts. Every vote counts. Every vote counts.
I'm Greg Johnson, engineer for Local 39. I've worked for Macy's for 30 years. We're on strike because they've decided they don't want to give us a decent contract. And they're basically trying to cut us another 5%. And we're working at about 20% below the industry standard for a stationary engineer.
And how long have you been on strike?
It's been 63 days. Yeah, 62 or 63.
That's pretty difficult.
Yeah, it's tough, but you know, it's for everybody who has a decent job that is trying to make a living in California. You have to stand up for your rights, and a lot of corporations are just deciding they're taking COVID as a reason to just hurt people. And that's after they give themselves $9 million in bonuses, you know.
So they have more money for the executives. But
Yeah, they did. He bragged about it, that they made enough to give themselves $9 million. And they cut a bunch of associates. I know even with the salespeople, they laid off a whole bunch of them, but now they're hiring people at a lower rate to come back for Christmas. So, yeah, it's been a greed thing for them on this one.
and what kind of support do you have?
It's us. The unions do come out. The other unions do come out. The guys that have time will come out and march with us. You know, I mean, we're here basically alone. The city, we're finding about 20% of the people actually even understand what a union is. These younger kids just don't understand what a union is, and that it's actually helping them. If we're in a union and we're making a little better wage, that everybody else will pay a little better wage.
And you think this is happening all over? These companies are using COVID to kind of undercut people?
Yeah, they're basic greed and undercutting everybody, you know.
Jimmy Labrato. We're on strike against Macy's.
How long have you worked at Macy's?
22 years. 22 years. And they're not putting in that. They don't even think about that, you know? They don't want us here no more. That's what I'm hearing.
Is this union busting?
That's what I feel. We do feel like that they are union busting us. Huh? Even after 22 years, they're treating us like, you know, like nothing. So
Your wages are below other.
that has a lot to do with it, because a lot of engineers down in the Union Square area, there's one in every building, maybe two, maybe three. They're making more than Macy's. So we said that's enough. Can't do that, because we're all doing the same thing, you know. Just treat us fair. That's all we want. We're not asking for more. Just fair. Just to be fair. That's all, you know.
Survival in this economy.
Oh my God! And you know that we're right in the middle of the COVID, and you know, just everything with everything. There's a lot going on. So it meant a lot to us to strike in the middle of all this, you know. So
It's pretty brave.
yeah, we have to. We all have to put up, you know, and stand up and put up, you know, and because we talk a lot at the meetings, but now it's time for action, huh? So.
And there are a lot of other engineers in San Francisco and all these.
God, yes, almost in every building they need an engineer, because there's water heaters and boilers, and they all need engineers. So
They've been out in the line with you?
that's a good question. I asked that.
I used to be an engineer in San Francisco.
Tell them about the longshore.
The Longshoremen's were here last week on Solidarity. They came and heard about we have a big steel that someone bangs on it all day, and they heard about that. So they came, the leader of the Longshoremen's, Trent Willis. Yeah, he made a nice little speech, and he motivated everybody, and it was pretty nice. It was pretty cool. And today, I think it's the Labor Council, no? The Labor Council is going to come today, have a little rally. Yeah, so we're going to wait around for that. Maybe you guys should come around and see what's going on. They said about 3 to 6. We'll see. We don't know.
Is this your first strike?
Second. This is my first strike lasting so long. 65 days now.
Do you think they want to starve you out?
Yeah. That's what they want to do.
No contract, no peace. 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 What do we want? What do we want? What do we want? What do we want?
Lisa Milos. I'm a member of a rank and file member of UPI. Well, right now we came marching from the Harry Bridges Plaza, and all the labor unions and labor councils came marching, and now we're supporting the engineers who are on strike here in front of Macy's. It looks like Macy's laid off like 4,000 people, and now what they're offering is a contract that will make them actually earn 30% less than what they're earning now, and they want to make them pay for their health care, because the health care costs for the
UC workers, are they under attack?
Yeah, UC workers, we're confronting a situation that they're calling curtailment or possible furlough. There's already been some layoffs. Yeah.
My name is Jay Veg. I'm District Representative, Local 39, IUOE. We're here representing the members. Every engineer in the 50-mile radius makes a certain amount of wage. The engineers here at Macy's for the exact same work get 17% less. And they have substandard health care on top of that. We're out here fighting for them, trying to get them. We weren't asking them to pay what everybody else pays. All we asked for was not to widen the gap. Macy's last offer was to put them from 17% less than everybody else to 23% less. And that's why we're out here fighting.
Is this part of union busting? You think this is part of union busting? Or using COVID?
Well, they definitely are using COVID as an excuse to pay workers less, absolutely. I'm not 100% sure if it's a tactic to union bust, but it could be as well.
What can people do who want to support you?
Don't shop at Macy's till they come back to the table and give us a living wage, especially for the Bay Area.
Surviving in the Bay Area with the pay cut.
Absolutely. It's hard to survive when you're making 23% less than everyone else. When we went to the bargaining table, we knew we were up for a fight. We knew there was layoffs, and we knew we were in the middle of a pandemic. But the fact remained that every single stationary engineer working in that store was making 17% less than every engineer in a 50-mile radius. That's unacceptable. They were also subject to worse health care than all the other engineers in the 50-mile radius as well. So we came out here, we had to do the right thing for them, and we're out here striking. We appreciate all your help, and we're going to continue fighting until we get our contract.
We don't cross picket lines in San Francisco.